Hello there, everybody. Today I'm going to be reading you a story about the coral reef. Do you know what the coral reef, where it's at? Look closer at the pictures. Yeah, the coral reef is in an ocean. Now, here in Michigan, we don't have an ocean anywhere around us. Oceans are filled with salt water, so if you got it on your tongue, it would taste like salt. We have a lot of fresh water here in Michigan because we live right near Lake Michigan and Wolf Lake. We have been talking about Earth's features, and Earth's features are water, like the ocean or lakes or rivers, soil, like our land, dirt, and air. So we've also been talking about our environments. Now, our environment at school is a little bit different than an ocean, right? You're right. So today I have this sticky note right here because that's going to be my bookmark, because I'm going to read part of it today to you, and I'm going to read a part of it next week to you, because this is a nonfiction book. A nonfiction book is an informational book, so we're going to learn a lot of information. It doesn't have a beginning and a middle and an ending, but we can look at the table of contents to figure out what we want to read about. So this story, or this book, is called Let's Visit a Coral Reef. The really cool thing about nonfiction informational books is a table of contents. Now today I'm only going to read about half of these. Not going to read all of them because there's a lot of information. The pictures are really cool in the inside. Somebody took a picture with their camera. Her name is Kimberly Brenneman. Kimberly Brenneman not only took the pictures, so she was the illustrator, but she also is the author, so she wrote the words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the pictures up close because I like the pictures a lot. I kind of wish some days I can go swim in the ocean, but I don't live by one. Then I'm going to read you the words, so you're only going to be able to see the picture. All right? It says, let me see if I have it in there. The colorful coral reef in warm, clear, salty ocean water, colorful fish dart, and beautiful plants sway. So the coral reef has bright fish and plants. That's called the coral. We don't have any coral in our environment. It only can live in an ocean. Yes, I said live because it can grow and it can reproduce, and it's something that is living. We're going to talk more about living and non-living things later. Okay. Ooh, look at those pictures. A collection of colorful clownfish. These are all clownfish. What does the clownfish look like? Who does it look like, I should say? This one. You're right. It looks like Nemo. Nemo is a clownfish. A clownfish is about the size of a person's hand. Hold up your hand, and that's the size that it gets. Not too big and not too little, just right. Why do you think these animals are called clownfish? I bet they're called clownfish because they're funny. No, I don't know. Look at, they have patterns on them. So here's this page that I'm going to read to you, but I'm going to show you this picture, okay? We are exploring a coral reef environment. Coral reef environments are home to many plants, animals. One kind of animal is called you're right, a clownfish. It has bright colors and patterns are like a clown's colorful face paint. That's why it's called a clownfish, not because they can tell funny jokes. It's because their bright colors and patterns are like a clown's colorful face paint. Ooh, I learned something new today. That's what informational books do for us. Okay. Creating a coral reef. Okay. Can you imagine a wall underwater? Can you imagine that this wall was made by tiny animals? It's true. Tiny animals called coral polyps. Can you say those words? Coral polyps. They create the coral reef. Look at, do you know what that person is called? He is a scuba diver. And if you look, he has this long line right here because can we breathe underwater? We can't live in the environment of an ocean or any water because we can't breathe under the water. So that's called a scuba diver. A scuba diver has to have some oxygen so he can have a mask on because he cannot breathe under the water without it. Look at how large this coral reef wall was. It was created by who? You're right. It was created by fish. The person swimming next to it looks very small. So that's why they put the scuba diver right here. The scuba diver is right there because they wanted just to show us how big the coral reef was. That's pretty cool. You gotta look at real closely at those to see what they even are. Hey, I don't even know what they are until I read the words. A coral reef is made up of many coral polyps. That's what the fish make, those coral polyps. Groups of coral polyps are called colonies. Coral polyps are shaped like tiny tubes with tentacles at the top. They have soft bodies and hard skeletons. This is labeling the coral polyps up close. Some coral reefs are very large. How do you think a coral reef get larger? How do you think a coral reef gets larger? Who makes them? The fish make them. You're right. It's probably how they get bigger. Maybe. I don't know. My informational book is going to tell me. Ready? Oh, I showed you the wrong side. When a coral polyp dies, its hard skeleton is left behind. So the fish is making it with its skeleton. The coral reefs get larger as more skeletons are left behind. The coral reef also grows when new coral polyps are made. Isn't that interesting? I think so. So, coral polyps are coral polyps create their coral reef home. Do you know how any other animal that live in a coral reef? Who lives in coral reefs? Showing the picture. And then, willing to bet that we're going to read about that question. Ready? I love this picture because I love sea turtles. Hungry animals in a reef. Here is an animal swimming through the water and searching for a snack. It's a green turtle. Green turtles eat plants like seaweed and algae. Other sea turtles eat plants and animals like fish and crabs. Ooh, look at that. That's not a very cool looking animal. It's kind of ugly, isn't it? Do you know what that's called? It looks like it's swimming at the bottom of it. Do you see this animal hiding in the reef? It's a moray eel. The moray eel could be hiding to surprise an octopus it wants to eat. It could be hidden from a big groper. Hiding in the reef protects the eel from becoming another fish's dinner. Look at that. Moray eel that we talked about that lives in the bottom, right? It's hiding so it can eat the octopus. That's what it wants for its dinner. So here's the octopus and here's the groper. Groper is a type of fish. Okay. Boy, there is so much information in this book that we learned about. Why bet we're going to learn even more and when you watch on next week. Okay. So here is my stop. And this is going to be my bookmark. We're going to talk more about bookmarks because sometimes we don't have time to finish stories. As we get into chapter books, when we get older, like 3rd or 4th grade, we won't be able to finish a book in one sitting. So we talk about bookmarks and how it's going to mark where we continue the next time. This is what I want you to do today. I want you to have some conversations at your house about a coral reef. Do you remember how a coral reef is made? Do you remember from my story? Remember how it said all the fish die and it said skeletons? That's how the fish make the coral reef. That's a cool fact. Do you remember anything else from our story? Share it with somebody next to you. I think it's kind of cool that that eel was hunting the octopus to eat it because it needed its dinner. What else did you learn? Have a conversation. See if you can find a fun video to learn even more about it. So when we read our book next week, maybe you'll already know it. All right? Have a great day.